In today's video, we will take a look at 3 reports which absolutely made no sense. But make sure to watch the video until the end because the last report is actually somewhat valid. And if you want to become an expert at hacking, then make sure to check out my course. Link is in the description. Now, let's get started. So as promised, we have 3 different reports plus one. This last one is the bonus report for y'all. So make sure to watch this video until the end because the last 2 reports make absolutely 0 sense, but they're quite funny. So let's get going. The first one, it says, "Hello team, I have found an issue on this URL which spams the email box of the victim." You basically go here, you fill out the form, you fill the email of the victim, and you start the IP rotator, which is a burp extension for bypassing the rate limit. And oh my god, yeah, this is you. And this is the website. And then if you try to send a request, for example, a login request, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th login attempt, you get rate limited, aka blocked from accessing the web or login functionality for a certain period of time, for example, 5 minutes. Then you go ahead and connect to the VPN or a separate IP address, and then all of a sudden you can send still ID login requests, and after the 5th one, you still get rate limited. Is this a vulnerability? You have 5 seconds. Actually, you don't have 5 seconds. This is not a vulnerability because this is just how web works. So this basically makes 0 sense. And the H1 analyst Oliver says, "Thank you for your report. Based on your initial description, there does not appear to be any security implications as a direct result of this behavior. What you described is considered spamming, which is not a valid security issue." And he says, "Yeah, I understand spamming is not a security issue. Issues apparently, but bypassing the rate limit through IP rotator is, oh my days, no. So we're moving on to the second report, which is, in my opinion, a very silly one. See, it goes like this. Again, I think this is written by ChatGPT. "The discovered vulnerability allows for the bypass of the two-factor authentication mechanism through the exploitation of the leaked cookies." So how this works is basically the steps to reproduce is navigate to the accounts and enable two-factor, then log out and log back in with the valid credentials. Then you are required to enter the two-factor code, which was basically delivered to you via the email or number, and you basically need to enter that to proceed. And what you need to do then is export the cookies using a cookie editor tool, and then you paste these copied cookies into a new browser. Oh my god, I don't know where this is going. And you can access the account without providing the two-factor authentication. Oh, no, it hurts. Again, this is the website, and this is you, right? And how this works is, in order for you to not enter the code every single time you visit the website, or not to have you to log in every time you visit the website, it was saved in your local storage or document that cookie in your browser, similar how, for example, HackerOne works. So this is saved locally on your machine, and there is no way someone can from the outside access this unless they have a gateway to access this, usually malware, because let me remind you of something. This is how Linus Tech Tips got hacked. So is this a vulnerability? Absolutely not, because it's just not. And this person, the H1 analyst, says, "Thank you for your report. After review, this doesn't seem to be any significant security risk or security impact as a result of the behavior you're describing. And as a result, we will be closing this report as informative." Let's move on to the third report, which is silly. Yeah, thankfully, this one, I think, wasn't written by ChatGPT. It could be, but I don't know. And it's content spoofing or text injection. I have never heard of this in my life being critical. Never. I mean, there could be like phishing, but no, absolutely not. This does not even qualify for for it to be even a vulnerability. And this vulnerability, he calls it, will reflect text on the web page, which is used to scam a victim to visit or send information to a malicious website. It could. It absolutely could, actually. It absolutely could. And as you can see, this is the 404 not found. The resource could not be loaded. And then he basically injected this. Oh, we're facing heavy traffic. You know, this could make sense. For example, 404 not found, the resource not found, and you put here, "Please visit this website if you want to see this." It's debatable. It's very debatable, actually. I don't think this is like not applicable. This should have been informational. because this one should have been not applicable. This is absolutely the ridiculous report, but this one actually kind of does deliver a fair point. Actually, I kind of agree with the reporter who wrote this. I don't know, but let's just see what Leon H1 Analyst says. Thank you for your submission. Unfortunately, this particular issue you reported is explicitly out of scope. Content spoofing and text injection issues without being... Okay, so if it's out of scope, then I understand. But again, it still should be informational. It should not have been not applicable. I just don't think they were fair to this reporter. This was not fair. I don't agree with what they said here, because this could be very critical. For example, in this image, let me zoom in a little bit for you to see. Imagine if here it says it's reddit.com. That's the level, that's your main domain. This is a subdomain, but this is a main domain. The resource could not be found. And imagine here, in order to see this, please log in at this other website. As you can see, please visit your following website, attacker. He actually even put that. I didn't even see it. So this is a very interesting thing here. I agree with the attacker on this one because there is a potential, but I think the HackerOne team was too harsh on this. And what's even crazy, I think this was solved. Let me see. If I visit this, it just says 404 not found, and there is no errors anymore. So I think they fixed it, but they were not fair to this researcher. Absolutely, this was unfair for him. Again, I think it was out of scope, but don't close it as not applicable because, again, as I've said, this affects his signal and reputation. So yeah, they did him wrong. The final report, which is 100% written by ChatGPT, and I can 100% confidently confirm that. If you take a look at these steps to reproduce, add details for how we can reproduce this issue. Wow. And supporting material references, or actually might have not been written. It might have not been listed any additional information. It might have not been written by ChatGPT, but it could have been because I don't know, but Okay, so what's about this? So apparently there is a leak of an API key, which is, very dangerous if it is actually true. And this researcher submitted a picture. And the most interesting picture for me is the second one, I think it is. You can see that there is an API key for the Firebase configuration here, but I don't even know what this all actually relates to because this all seems like something not relevant. I don't know what this person has found, whether it is relevant or not, but based on what I can see, I don't think it is. I just think this is what other people have leaked in their code by accident, possibly, because there is literally this is not related to Reddit Inc. It's just not related to that, obviously. But there is the data API key here for some odd reason. So again, this has nothing to do with the Reddit itself. And again, it was absolutely silly and, it's been closed as informative. So I think out of all of these reports, this researcher has not been, it has been done dirty in this one. I argue with me all you want, but I will leave this all in the descriptions for you to all read. But I think this researcher was done dirty because he is actually the one who found something very real, yet he was mistreated for what he had found. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay responsible, and as always, peace.